Harper from Delaware, Ohio. I appreciate you tuning in, Harper, but I'm angry with you. He said, why the hype around Lincoln Riley when he hasn't proven he could win at all? This is a lie. This is a lie. This is total fabrication. Lincoln Riley hasn't proven he could win. It's a lie. This is where I wish that I could just Skype people in and debate them, because I would eviscerate you right now if you suggested to me Lincoln Riley hasn't proven he can win. Like, what are you talking about? So push that out. That's nonsense. Push that out of the way. Let's just talk about the tee up to the point he made there. The hype. Why is there so much hype around Lincoln Riley? Because frankly, I don't have a lot of people tell me Lincoln Riley hasn't proven he can win. I think most people can look at the fact that the dude's won double digits every year but the COVID year and understand, yeah, he's proven he can at least win. I think most people understand that. But I do have several of you tell me Lincoln Riley's overrated and Lincoln Riley's overhyped. And I ask you, what's the hype? What have I said about him that's not true? What hype have we contributed to that's not true? To remind you, the guy's been a double-digit game winner every year he's been a head coach, aside from the COVID year. He develops quarterbacks. I've said that about him. It's not a lie. He's got a Heisman finalist every year. They've won 3 of them. He's never finished lower than 12th as a head coach in the final AP poll. He's got the 3rd highest winning percentage amongst active head coaches. That's higher than Saban. That's higher than Smart. What about that is hype? You've never heard me say he's the preeminent favorite to win the national championship any given year. I've never predicted him to win one. That would be hype. If he didn't follow through on that, that would be hype. And it would be my fault, not his, by the way. What's the hype? And then on a related note, if that's overhyping him, what should I be saying? To accurately portray Lincoln Riley, what should I say about him? Well, because you haven't won multiple national championships, you're just a poverty coach. Is that what we're saying about him? I want you to tell me with a straight face that if they gave you a national platform and put a brand new microphone in your face, you would say that and expect to be taken seriously. You don't have to like him. You don't have to root for him, but have some logic behind what you ask me. I opened the mailbox for a reason. We opened the DMs for a reason, but you can't come at me with Lincoln Riley hasn't proven he can win. Are you crazy? Answer, yes. At least the question is. But look, I brought a friend along tonight. You don't have to just take my word for it, because you may not value my opinion. I wanted to go to someone who, especially in the college football world, has a pretty sterling reputation. He's been around the block a time or two. So don't take my word for it. Let's go to friend of the program, Nicholas Saban, and see what he's had to say recently about Lincoln Riley.
When he wanted to transfer, he said, well, I feel comfortable going to Maryland because Coach Loxley was my coach, or going to Miami because Danny Enos was my coach, or I could go to Oklahoma. And I said, well, who has the best players? He wanted to go to Maryland or Miami. I said, you need to go to Oklahoma. They got the best players. So you best coach to develop you as a quarterback, and you're going to be around the best players. So that's going to enhance your chances of having success. So he did that. He had a great year. I was worried about having to play him in the playoffs. Being a quarterback there never worked out that way.
Conversation this week, that was via the 33rd Team podcast, and that is Nick Saban talking about how he facilitated Jalen Hurts' transfer. Hurts looks at Maryland, Hurts sees comfort level, and Saban says, you need to go play for the best coach with the best players, the one that can develop you the best. He's talking about Lincoln Riley. That's another head coach talking, and one that's won several of those fabled national championships that Lincoln Riley hasn't gotten yet. Yet is a key word here. You know, we've made the point a time or 10 lately that there's a difference between have not and cannot. And right now, Lincoln Riley has not won a national championship, and some of you are misguided enough to think that means he cannot win a national championship. And so I want to remind you of something. I want to tell you a little story, but I don't have to make it up. It really happened. There was this guy who had never been a coordinator before. He had never been a head coach before. And all of a sudden, he got elevated to being the head coach of a major program, a storied program. And he didn't win a championship his first year or his second year or his third year or his fourth year. In fact, he lost at least 2 games. every one of those seasons. His name was Dabo Swinney, by the way. He's the head coach at Clemson. The year is 2014. You and I are having a conversation. What would you have said if I told you this dude over here that some of you think's a little bit goofy, certainly unorthodox, is going to win 2 of the next 3 national championships? Well, he's going to play for one both years. He's going to win one 2 years from now. He's going to win another one 2 years after that. He's going to go to the playoff every year. And he's going to rewrite the record books in the process. What would you have said to me in 2014? I'll tell you exactly what you would have said. After you got done laughing, you would have said, Dabo Swinney can't win a national championship. And I would have said to you then exactly what I'm saying about Lincoln Riley now. No, he hasn't won a national championship. He can. He can. He just hasn't. So right now, what's holding Lincoln Riley back? His defenses aren't good enough. That's what's holding him back. Lincoln Riley's extremely young. Lincoln Riley's got his entire future in front of him. So you can either choose to believe that a guy that sharp, and he is one of the brightest in the business, is either going to sit there and never change a thing about his program in the face of very subpar results defensively, or you can do like me and say, I don't know if he's going to figure it out overnight, but eventually that guy's going to get it figured out. Quarterback's never going to be a problem for him. Recruiting's not going to be a problem for him. Acquiring talent, period, is not going to be a problem for him. Salary, the ability to go pay high-profile coordinators to come in and coach his defense, if Alex Grinch isn't the guy, is not going to be a problem for him. He could be there 20 years for all I know. I think they're going to be a contender virtually every one of them, and I think there is a national championship, or maybe more than one, in his future. So the question was, why are we overhyping him? He hasn't proven he can win. That's foolish. He has proven time and time again. In fact, he's yet to have a season where he proves he can't win. This last season should have been that year. He refused to even lose in his first year at USC. So I do things to that question that I can't say on air. I dismiss it. That's what I can tell you on air. Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure and leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.